realizes that she is messed up not just for herself, but for all of humanity. And what I love about this is when God discovers that they are no longer where they are supposed to be, the scripture tells us that he is walking in the cool of the day in the garden. Eve and Adam have fallen into a trap, and God comes walking in the cool of the day. I love this when I read it because as I was studying it for this message, I realized that God walked into the trap that Eve fell in. Yeah. Eve fell in it, but God walked in it. Eve stumbled into that situation. But God doesn't sleep, nor does he slumber, nor does he stumble into anything. God says if Eve has fallen into a trap, then she needs something powerful enough to walk into that thing that she fell in. I wish I could say that the way that I studied it, because there's somebody who's fallen into a trap who thinks that they're in that trap by themselves. But the moment that God knew that they were in a trap, he came walking in the garden. Let me get down in this trap with you. Let me get down in this situation with you. What I love about God is he doesn't just leave you where you fell. He gets down in that mess with you. I know you didn't think he was in there because you called it a praying grandmother. But when you look back over your life, you'll see that God got down in that trap with you. You called it a teacher who just knew you were special. I call it God getting down in that trap with me. You call it a husband. You call it a friend. I call it God getting down in the trap with me. I fell in the trap, but God walked in this thing with me. Because there are some traps that you fall in that the only way you can get out is if God gets down in that trap with you. God, I can't get out of this unless you get down in here with me. God, I am incapable of getting out of it by myself. So I'm going to need you to get down in this trap with me. And he does that. He does that for Eve. He gets down in the trap with her. But when he's down in the trap with Eve, he assesses the situation. Because down in the trap, he's got Adam and the serpent and Eve in the trap. And while they're in the trap, God assesses the situation, and that's where that Genesis 3:15 comes in that I love so much. When he assesses the situation, he says, the only way I can fix this is if I get Eve to produce seed, and her seed has to crush the head of the serpent. But the thing is that Eve doesn't have seed in this moment. Eve is not pregnant. So it's not like God is declaring a promise that she actually has in her possession. Because sometimes God gives you a promise that doesn't look like anything you have in your possession. God tells Eve, your seed is going to bruise his head. Your seed is going to crush this. But God, I don't have any seed. This promise feels like a fantasy. That I would be the one to start the business. That I would be the one who would be able to break a generational curse. God, you gave me a promise, but that promise feels like a fantasy. God, that I would finally have my mind together. God, that I would finally be the one who was able to go to school. Now I can't even get accepted. I can't even get a loan into school. God, this promise feels like a fantasy. God gives her this promise. But I realized that part of the reason why he could give the promise is because he was going to make Eve work with him to manifest it. And all Eve would have to do is put some skin in the game. God would give her seed, but he needed her to put skin in the game. I love that term, Skin in the game. It's actually an investment term when a CEO invests in his own company, when he buys stock in his own company. It's a sign of good faith for the company because it says if the CEO is willing to risk his own finances to be in the company, then I can support what the CEO is doing. That's why Jesus is the way for me, because he messed around and wrapped himself in flesh. The chief CEO, I don't know if it's anybody in here who needs to follow somebody who has some skin in the game, but he wrapped himself in flesh and said, I can fix this. I'm gonna put some skin in the game. I'm not going to make Eve go up against this thing by herself. I'm not going to make Tanya go up against this thing by herself. Jessica's not going to have to face it by herself. I'm going to give her seed, but she's going to have to put some skin in the game too. This time I'm not going to do it the way that I did it before. I'm going to need some women who don't mind putting some skin in the game, who don't mind saving up to come to Denver, Colorado, to come and receive. Somebody told me last week I could have gone to Essence or I could have came here, but I needed to have some skin in the game. I needed God to know that I'm taking this thing seriously. I needed God to know that I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, that I'm willing to grow into the woman that he's called me to be. Somebody's in this room because they got skin in the game. I can't afford to lose my child. I can't afford to lose my marriage. I got too much skin in the game. I've invested too much in this business. I've invested too much in my healing. I can't afford. I refuse to lose. I refuse to lose. I went through too much hell. I went through too much struggle. I'm not just going to sit back and watch my life fall apart any longer. I put some skin in the game for this thing. So, Eve put some skin in the game. It's what I feel like God was calling me to do, all while we were preparing for conference. I kept thinking to myself, God, last year this just came together, and this year I'm having to fight to do it. But God says this year you need to put some skin in the game. I know this isn't the sexy God that we like to talk about, that will just bless you with anything that you ask for. But there's a level of glory that you can only access when you put some skin in the game. Jesus was doing good when he was walking around healing and prophesying, but for him to reach his ultimate glory, he had to get on the cross. He had to crucify his flesh. He had to put some skin in the game. He had to say, I'm so serious about this that I'm willing to invest on it. I'm willing to put my life in it. God said, will you do it if it costs you? Will you do it if it hurts you? Will you do it if it stresses you out? Will you do it if the team falls apart? And I said, God, I can't go back to who I used to be. So I'm going to have to ante up and put some skin in the game. God, I can't go back to what I was. I can't just stay here where I am. I got to put some skin in the game. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's time to put some skin in the game. It's time to put some skin in the game. It's time for you to actually invest in yourself. It's time for you to actually take this thing seriously. I know you wanted it to come to you easy, but it can't come to you easy and it still be glorious. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to produce something that has glory connected to it. I need people to see me and say, it ain't no way that could have happened unless God got done in the midst. I had to put some skin in the game, but he gave me some seeds to work with. I'm trying to take that seed and bring it to fruition. I'm trying to take that seed and make it everything it's supposed to be. And that's why I refuse to lose. Because I got too much skin in the game. I got too many women riding on me. I got too many family members who need to see somebody finally get their life together. I got too much skin in the game. Everyone else can quit and pack up their toys and go home. Good for them. But as for me and my house, we gonna serve what God is doing around here. Because I gotta put some skin in the game. It ain't a hot girl summer. It ain't a city girl summer. It's a skin in the game summer. Skin in the game summer, make some noise in this place. Everything else is trendy, but only what I do with God will last. I'm trying to do something that makes the earth shake. I'm trying to do something that makes hell nervous. I came to put some skin in the game. My mother couldn't do it. My auntie couldn't figure it out. But God brought me on the scene. Right when I could break that curse. My daughters need me to put some skin in the game. My neighbor needs me to put some skin in the game. I'm going back to school. I'm going to write the book anyway. I'm going to start saving like the business is already a Fortune 500 company. I'm getting my body right. I'm getting my mind right. I'm getting my heart right. Because I got skin in the game. Depression, let me go. Suicide, you can't have me. I gotta put some skin in the game.
Get these up. You don't want them? The trash is right there.
On today's episode of Women of Impact, the incredibly awe-inspiring Sarah Jakes Roberts is here and sharing her darkest battles.
I don't feel smart. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel valuable. This is my truth.
And how her struggles of self-worth, value, and self-esteem when she fell pregnant at the young age of just 14.
Whoa! I can remember saying, I can do better. This screen share.
I can do better than this. As a very public daughter of the famous pioneer, Bishop T.D. Jakes, she talks about everything from overcoming shame, judgment, self-betrayal.
Okay. Cool. So, awesome. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I really like her. That is Sister Sarah Jakes. And put some skin in the game, y'all. Listen, put some skin in the game. This is not me trying to be on here doing too much. This is the the connect that I'm trying to share with you guys during this journey. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. That's it. Simple. Have a blessed one. Take care. That's cool. And look, I'm just learning how to do this. So it feels good when I can share different things like this. I didn't even realize that I could share a video. I knew it's possible. I didn't know how to do it. So it feels good that I'm able to share the screen, because that means I would be doing a lot more screen sharing and less talking, because I'm learning too. And I can show you how I get my skills. I can show you how I get my skills. I can show you how I'm teaching myself. And we hear it all the time, but if somebody can just like walk us through some things, maybe it'll be easier to learn that way. Everybody has different ways to learn. And so one of my ways is just actually doing it. And some other people's ways is hearing it, seeing it, or doing it themselves. So I'm just sharing. That's it. Have a blessed weekend, you guys. Be safe.